Hi everybody, this is Jacqueline with Unglitch.io, and I kind of wanted to chat with you about a recent client experience I just had. So this client is working with one of my new all-inclusive packages called the Branded Experience. So I'm working with a lovely lady named Joanna who scheduled her free consultation, and we immediately started talking about her product. Her product is a diet supplement. And so right away, I kind of got into the mode I usually do where you kind of got to play devil's advocate without telling the client that, there's a lot of diet supplements out there. So we really need to find, and I need to discover and help you discover what sets you apart. Where her service or her product differs from is right off the bat in our free call. I had to stop her early on in the conversation as she began to talk about the target market she wants, which was any woman looking to lose weight. That's a huge target market, and of course, it'd be great if any product could reach all those. But when you really narrow down and niche down who your target market is, you'll be more successful with your branding, you'll be more successful with your marketing, you'll be more successful with the overall story and message you want to tell to get the info about your product out into the world. So we definitely had to shift. Not all the time, but sometime I have to show some tough love with this because a lot of times people have an idea of who their target market is, or they want everyone in the world to be their target market. And it's sometimes tough to see it in a different way or see it niche down because your first thought might be, well, I might be losing a lot of different possibilities and customers, but that's not true. So diet pills are everywhere. Most are not healthy or they don't actually work to lose weight. A lot of them you see in type of like very unprofessional websites that say, ooh, Kim Kardashian lost 20 pounds in 2 days. Buy, this jar of pills and you will too. And I think nowadays, more and more people are seeing that hopefully as, fraudulent and it's not going to work. And it might be a fad diet thing, or it might be something that's just lying to you about what it does. So Joanne's first hurdle with the product was that. How do we set her apart from all these diet pill craziness that doesn't work? So she is different because her ingredients are all natural and will come with an app that focuses on tracking weight loss and providing support with a Facebook group of women. Now, that's not something that she started out with. She started out with a natural ingredient product. It had just gotten approved, and she wants to market it to anyone. So eventually then she said, well, what can I add? How can I add value? So she already knew that she needed to add more value, more support. And the big thing that she told me was she wanted to add support for all the customers that take this. She wanted to be able to have a forum or a network where everyone can support each other in their weight loss goals and how things are going. Now, up front, I was like, whoa, that is amazing. There's, you take a product and you're like, well, I don't know if it's working for other people because there's a million fake reviews online probably about this product. But if I have, a Facebook group or an app that I can talk to other women who are using the product and get advice and see what worked for them and see what they were eating along with it and how they were exercising along with it, that would be amazing. So the app is great. The all natural ingredients, absolutely great. So, then we went into where is the brand? So naturally, Joanna's response is its name. She is usually, so this is usually where I back people up and want to know her story. Her original brand name, I'm not going to tell you what it was, but her original idea for what she wanted to name it, one was already taken by another company, not doing diet pills, but doing something separate. So, we had to steer away from that one. And it also focused on something that Joanna likes. So it specifically was a plant that she likes. This plant wasn't in the ingredients list, and this plant is just, a plant that she likes. So it really has nothing to do with the product. And so, we got into that, and right away, I looked online and saw, even within this phone call, I saw this company that already exists. So I, let her know of that. But above all, what is her story? I wanted to know her story before I wanted to know her brand name. And she, of course, came right away with, this is the brand name. And, I don't interrupt people or anything. But like I said, I have to give some tough love sometimes with this, where, the brand name might not be what you need. So I wanted to know, why is she passionate about weight loss? And the answer was pretty predictable. She was overweight once, but that's not enough of the story. I'm going to skip, for her sake, to the climax of our first conversation. To be blunt, she started gaining weight after a lifetime of abuse. The stuff she was telling me, she didn't go into too much of detail, but over, the course of working together, we've got to talking about some of the stuff, and it's heartbreaking. With, all that abuse, she started eating to kind of cope with it. It's a very common coping mechanism for all sorts of us, and, it happens to way too many of us for any issues that we have, but abuse is a huge one that, across the board, when you look it up percentages-wise, being overweight, being heavily overweight, and having some form of domestic abuse or sexual abuse, it's pretty common. So in getting healthy, once she got out of that bad relationship, she started to focus on getting healthy. She was away from her abuser, so she started working on getting healthy. She was trying to use all these supplements and diet pills, and they weren't working. So, over 10 years ago, she came up with this thing, and she was trying out different concoctions on herself, and she found what works the best way for her. She got a degree in botany, so that's where she started getting interested in making stuff like this. And so just now, she finally honed in on it. She's been using it for the last 6 years. She looks amazing. I'll definitely be, once we launch everything for her, and I will definitely share everything and anything from her new social media page, especially that I'll be managing for the first month once we're ready to get to that step in the branded experience. But you guys are going to be amazed at the before and after photos and how much weight she's lost. She looks great. This is a great story to tell for the brand, and that's where the target market came from. Because while this is a heartbreaking story, it's not a unique background of why she might want to do this. Now, not many people have this background and come up with a product like this, so her botany experience puts a load of value into her brand story. And so while she's going through this, she's, opening up about, both the abuse and why she started gaining weight, but she also kept talking about that app that she wants a part of to really help women support each other. And immediately I had to blurt out, "This is your brand." And she kind of went, "What?" And I'm like, okay, before I get ahead of myself, this is, she was a little confused at first, but this is where I come in. I asked her, what if your product told your story? Which at first she was like, yeah, no. So I said, just hear me out. What if your brand message told the story that this is what happened to you? Now you're here with this great product that you've tested out for so long and honed in on. Your brand goal is to support women losing weight who are in your exact same situation. It doesn't mean that limits your target market to only women who have been abused in any different way. It doesn't mean that limits that. Because while so many women will see this brand who have never had problems with abuse in their past or anything, they will see this message and they will want to be a part of it as well. So Joanna is about 3/4 of the way done with the website portion of the branded experience. So like I said, when we're ready to launch, I'm going to share all the things that we've been doing and her new logo, her new website, and everyone will definitely want to follow her on Facebook and stuff like that. So during the branded experience, her product and brand evolved into something that we're both really proud of. She's happy, I'm happy. This is going to be epic. I'm so excited for what's to come for her. I'm so excited to watch this grow. Joanna's story is so harrowing, it needs to be heard. Her product didn't have to change, there's no ingredients changed, but the brand is what really evolved. So first thing about her brand, her story is being showcased. Her strive to not sell another diet pill that isn't ethical and that doesn't work is showcased. Her brand name matches. Each sale of her product, and this is a really, really cool thing, each sale of her product, 10% of it will be given to 5 select organizations that she's passionate about that focus on abuse, trauma, counseling, and prevention. This is an amazing thing. This is a great way to kind of give back to both tying in her story and, the goal of this brand, and should be for any brand, is to solve problems and provide value to someone. And so she's doing this in multiple ways with this brand message. So then the app comes in. So we're also working on an app that comes with each product. So similar to, like, say you get a Fitbit, and then, once you have purchased that Fitbit, then the instruction manual will tell you to go to that Fitbit app or the Fitbit website to track your progress and stuff like that. This app will allow you to sign up if you'd like to. It's optional for a network of women to kind of support each other, go over tips and tricks of what they're eating along with the supplement and how the supplement's working for them. It's a way for people to show their before and after photos, show their amazing progress, or talk about some of the struggles they're having and how they can kind of help each other. So that's something that's really great. That's kind of the cherry on top of the overall product as well. So there's, of course, companies and brands that have a story to tell and want to sell their product. But when a brand is personal and something that is inclusive to those who can relate, so if they want to support a cause that they can empathize with or that they're directly affected by, it's more likely to succeed. And with that, it won't be seen as something that's a big box corporation, a multi-million-dollar brand, but an ethical and important brand to support. Whether you buy or not, you're going to want to support this brand. And that, above all, is something that everyone who is looking to put out services or looking to put out a product and then create their brand, that's something you want to create around. Of course, the underlying ideal is that you'd like to succeed and make money at your brand. But when you go into creating a startup or creating a product, when you get to branding and you find that your only motivation for creating this brand is making money, I hate to tell you, it's not going to work so well. Making money is something that should be the caveat to what you do and the purpose of what you're making or the people that you're serving. So this is the difference with the branded experience. I've been doing this for about 11 years now. Of course, 10 years ago, if someone would come email me and say, Jacqueline, I love the color blue and I love butterflies. I want my company that is a yoga studio to be called the Blue Butterfly. Back then, when I first started out, I used to just make those logos because, I was hungry and, looking for work. But over the years and within 11 years in this industry, branding is so much more important. It's the first stepping stone before anything I have to do creatively, like graphics or logo or website. If your brand doesn't make sense and if it doesn't have a great organic message, it's not going to go very far. I can create beautiful websites, beautiful graphics for a brand that doesn't make sense, but overall that message won't be able to come through because your target audience and your audience outside of your target audience is going to be very confused as to why this brand even exists. It's not an easy fix all the time with your logo issue. It's not a circumstance where you should know things like your target market. So when you go into this, it's not going to be something that you might have any idea of where it's going to end up. The fix all for the brand is not just what the logo is going to look like, but what your tone, what your persona is, what your language is, and what is your purpose of your business. That's the four main things I start with before I even, start mocking up different logo ideas. The things that you should know going into your brand is basically nothing. You should know what products you have or services you want to do, but a lot of times in these first discovery calls, we both together end up discovering what's your purpose besides making money. A lot of people will say, well, I want my target audience to be everyone, like I said. Well, no, you actually maybe don't want that. You want a niche down target market to really sell your product successfully. A lot of times people don't know what their message is truly yet. They have, just like with Joanna, she had this great story, but she had no idea that that's where this message was coming through and how much I reacted to it right away. Everyone else who's been involved and kind of beta testing certain things have reacted to it right away, that this message is impactful and powerful. And this is something that's going to skyrocket the brand so much better than my message is I make diet supplements and I'm here to sell them to you to make money. That's obviously not a message that's going to convert well to people who want to buy the product. So all these things, when we do the discovery call, you don't have to be ready for much. You don't have to know much about where you're going with your brand yet. This is something we discover together. And it's something that we work on together, and it's something that oftentimes in that first call, that's where this all comes to light. So this is just a tiny taste of just the first few steps of the branded experience. This was my experience with Joanna, and like I said, I'll be sharing a lot more about her soon. But in the meantime, like I said, this was just an intro to the branded experience and one of client's recent experience and kind of a little bit sneak peek of her story. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, find me on Facebook to message me. Thanks for listening.